Hello, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today. Good stuff is coming. On today's show, we have Jimmy Rigdon, Chip Gayden, and Dr. Laura Lewis. You're going to learn a lot, so don't touch that dial.
Thank you to the teachers for encouraging me when I wasn't sure where to start, for seeing my potential even when I didn't, for inspiring me to reach farther and try harder.
Thank you, MCC. You helped me change my future.
Find your wings at MCC.
And we are here with the wonderful Mr. Jimmy Rigdon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Everything going well?
Everything's going great, and I'm proud you're having me in today to talk about commercial truck driving.
Yes. Now, you are the
coordinator
of the commercial truck driving program. You're also one of the main teachers.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
There's
sir.
one other teacher or two others?
It's
if you don't mind
Eric. Eric Griffin is one of the instructors too.
Okay.
We have Eric's our full-time guy, and Mr. Hardaway, Tristan Hardaway, is our part-time instructor.
Y'all are running full force over there.
Yes, so right now we're working 7 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay. And now the program itself is an 8-week program.
Yes, it's an 8-week program. You're only in class with us 2 hours a day, Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
A lot of people when they hear 8 weeks go, oh, I can't do 8 weeks, but you're only going to be with us for 2 hours on a Monday through Thursday, and you do all your lecture on through Canvas online.
Well, I wanted us to clarify something. Is when you say you're working 7 days a week, that's not the students are going 7 days a week.
The program,
you have different programs.
Yeah, the programs are in the 7 days a week.
Okay. I knew that y'all had been busy, and this has been going on for a few years now that y'all have been super busy.
In February, the federal government changed some laws requiring every person that gets a commercial driving license has to do some type of formal training. So that's why our numbers have picked up, because everyone's required now to go through some type of class.
Because you had said before, if someone had a truck available, they could just go to the DMV and do a driving test.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
But now they must go through some training.
That's right. They have to do some type of training. There's no hours set by the federal government. It's up to the school.
How many hours do you typically have them train?
It really depends on the person. What we have, the company, say we have a company come in that wants to train one of their employees, they have them able to drive the truck when they come up to us.
Okay.
So we basically evaluate them and see how many hours they need.
Okay.
And before that step right there, they'll get on Canvas, our online format, and do about 30-something chapters as far as the theory portion of it before they ever come to our location to do the driving training.
But so all of that, and you said the lectures are on Canvas. That the chapters they can go through on Canvas. Now, so when they complete an 8-week course, they will get their, or they will take their to get their license.
If say that a student comes through MCC's 8-week class, at the end of the course, MCC, myself, Mr. Hardaway, or Mr. Griffin, will actually give them the driving test here at MCC. We're actually testers for Mississippi.
Okay.
So really for everyone in the United States.
Okay.
But we test most people in Tennessee. The surrounding states is where we test at.
Okay.
But they'll actually do they'll do the driving test here in Meridian.
Okay.
So they won't be going somewhere new. Where they've been practicing for 8 weeks is where they'll be taking the driving test at.
Now this, we've just, as I said, this has been going gangbusters for a while. I know how busy y'all have been. Do you see, because after COVID and we had all the shipping and all the stuff with trucks and there weren't enough truck drivers and all, do you see that letting up any, or do you see it continuing?
Everything that I read, they're saying that For the next 5 years, there's a driver shortage.
Okay.
That's not going to change, but it's a demand. What we have probably 20 companies every 8 weeks that comes through our program looking for drivers. So when you come through our program and complete it, you have at least 20 companies wanting to hire you.
Okay.
At least 20
And
companies.
we're talking some decent money too.
Yes. Say Walmart. Everybody knows Walmart, and they're paying $120,000 a year for drivers right now.
Oh, that's just about what we make.
Yes, there's several companies that are paying over $100,000. Now, you will be gone.
Sure.
You won't be in Meridian. You'll be driving the truck up and down the American highways. But yes, now that's over the road stuff, I would say from $70,000 to $100,000. Local's going to be a little lower because you are at home every night.
Sure. Now, to get into your program, are there any prerequisites? Do you have to have a certain ACT score? You have to have graduated high school, I'm assuming.
You have to
or have a GED equivalent.
Yes, you have to have a high school diploma. Deborah Nettles is the one I fall back on all the requirements you have to get in the program. But high school diploma, pretty much if you got a high school diploma or a GED, you can get in the program.
Okay. And so they just need to contact Deborah Nettles.
Well, they can contact me, Jimmy Rigdon, at 601-485-5118.
Okay.
And I can give you all the details, or they can email me at jrigdon@meridiancc.edu, and I can email it to them also.
And so this is a job that you're after 8 weeks, you're going to be making really good money,
Yes.
and for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
And what a great program.
Yes.
And you say you're running 7 days a week, so you have your regular program Monday through Thursday. Do you have like a
Monday through Thursday we have our regular program, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we have companies come in and train local companies on them another 3 days.
Okay. How long have you been doing this now, Jimmy?
I've been here 18 years.
Oh my gosh.
Been driving the truck since the late 80s.
Okay. And I'm working on my 20-something.
It's been fun.
It's
It's so much fun. You don't want to leave.
That's true. I keep thinking about, well, what would I do? And I really do enjoy what I do.
Yes.
It would be different if I did not enjoy it. And I know you do as well.
I love it.
Because I've been over to, your area, and it's just so much fun to get in there and get in the simulator, and I crashed. It was bad. They put me in a snowstorm. It wasn't. It wasn't good.
Yeah, it's a great training tool.
But do they start on the simulator?
Yeah, they start on the simulator. Well, we get the person we evaluate them. If some people we put it right on the simulator, and some people we put it right in the truck. It just depends on the individual.
I would be on the simulator.
It just depends on the person.
Now, but have you had any students that come in and they're like, oh, I'm gung ho, and they get in the truck,
and then they can't drive.
And they're like, oh.
I have a lot of students like that.
Because you think this is going to be easy, this is going to be simple, this is going to be, and it's.
And our male students are usually the ones that I can do this, and our female students are kind of laid back a little bit more, but the female students usually do better than the male students, because it doesn't matter how strong you are, the truck's doing all the work.
Sure.
You just have to be able to operate it. So it's something I didn't mention. It's a great feel for females to get in.
Okay.
Yes, because because people think truck drivers is going to be hard labor work. Not always. A lot of it is just you driving a vehicle, getting out and opening some doors in the back of your trailer and unlocking your load. And that's all it is. We have a lot of retired people. They actually, after they have done whatever I've had a bunch of retired school teachers over the years.
Really?
A bunch of retired police officers, firefighters, administrators in school systems. We had one doctor, I'm not going to say their name, that come through probably about 10 years ago, and I thought that was interesting.
Have you found that you're having more women come in?
There is. In the last 18 years, when I first started, we would have probably 1 or 2 females a school year, and then now we're probably having 5 or 6, maybe a little bit more. It's not as many as I'd like to see. It's just people think of truck driving is just a male-dominated field, and it's really. It's not. Females can
how
do
many
this.
students, for each eight-week class, you accept how many students?
4 per instructor, and we got 3 instructors, so that's 12 every 8 weeks. So we're full now for the January class. We have another class that starts in March.
Okay. So
we have
if you're interested, contact Deborah Nettles.
That's right. If you're interested in getting in the March class, you need to contact us now.
Okay.
Don't wait till January to get in March, because you end up being the summer class if you wait that long.
Well, listen, Jimmy, thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
And we are here with the wonderful Coach Chip. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Now, you are the coach for our track and field team.
I am.
And you have been doing this for...
This is year number 10.
Oh, my goodness. That's 10 years here?
10 years here, yeah.
And you've survived.
Yeah, I've survived. I've gotten some more gray hair, but I've survived.
And your program is doing really well.
Absolutely.
Were you pleased this year?
Yeah. I think what we've done so far this year and what we finished with last year, we had a national champion in the 100 meters, and he's now at the University of Georgia. I think we finished 11th, I think. It was a good year. I think going into this year, just you got to build on it. And this is a little bit younger of a group than normal, and so there might be
its own set of situations.
Might have some growing pains. So, but we're excited.
Typically, how large is the track team? How many do you try to have?
Ultimately, if we could go 30 and 30 or somewhere in that ballpark, great. This year's group is smaller. We do have some kids we're bringing in January to add to it. But I think my first year, I think we had a team that was about 50 men and women. So it fluctuates year to year. But, if we could do 30 and 30, that'd be great.
How do you get these student athletes?
A lot of it is just us going out and finding them. We've got access to a database that has meet results from all over the country. We also have a database that has meet results from all over the world.
Okay.
We also get a lot of four-year schools that refer people to us. And we also have young men and women that reach out to us and say, hey, we want to be a part of it, and that kind of thing.
Okay. Now, because I do know we have a few internationals, and so you say you've got this database, and then do you actually go see them, or?
It depends.
Vacation time.
Yeah,
No, I'm joking.
yeah. It depends. I've been down to Jamaica a few times, and a few other places in the Caribbean. But a lot of the times, it's with the internationals. I might see it in a meet result, and I'll start kind of doing my research of seeing if I can find videos of that individual competing.
What do you look for?
I look at times, and then during the recruiting process, for me and our program over the years, we put a big emphasis on what kind of character does this person have, number one, and number two, what kind of work ethic do they have? We have kind of a recruiting process point that we call it, that it doesn't matter what event you run, I'll call you, and I'll lay it out to you and say, look, this is how it is day in, day out here. And we weed quite a few people out in that conversation, because you tell them, hey, this is how competitive it is, this is how hard it is, and you can normally figure out real quick the people that are very hesitant to answer, that's not what you want.
Right.
The people that are like, great, I'm all for that, that's the person you want. But with the internationals, it's building a relationship, and particularly with the parents and the coaches and their support system, for them to understand, hey, we're going to take care of your child and that kind of thing.
Well, now, you have always, and we, all of the coaches here do, but you in particular, as far as the academics and how important they are. How do you emphasize that with your athletes?
The biggest, we talk about it in recruiting. We have 3 things that we tell every recruit. Number 1, you're going to get an education here. Number 2, you're going to become a better person. Number 3, we're going to make you a better athlete, in that order. With the key thing being you're not an athlete, you're a student athlete, with the key being student first. And that, I tell people, this doesn't last forever. At some point, you have to have a real job, and you will make more money with your education than athletics will probably ever make you. And you know, so that we harp on that day in, day out. And even you know, the success we've had, I tell everybody, we have the success because of what we do in the classroom.
And you genuinely look at their grades. And like we were just talking, you're waiting to get some grades in, you know, but you look at their grades and make determinations based on what you see and what you find in those, you know, in those grades. Just not just, you know, individual test grades, but overall GPA.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I mean, you know, I think by and large, if you can't do it in the classroom, you're not going to do it out at practice.
Right.
And so then the question is okay, what's different here? Why can we work hard at practice and not work hard in the classroom? And, you know, I have a policy. You miss class, you miss a meet. You miss study hall, you miss a meet. You know.
Well, I will say, because yours are some of our best behaved students in study hall. They're in there, they're working, they're doing what they need to be doing, and I truly appreciate it. But you know, some students have to go to and go, literally, you're telling me you have nothing to study.
Right. You
have nothing to look over. You have nothing, you know, and I was harping on it constantly, and I think it resonated.
Yeah.
With a few, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Now, did you run track when you were younger?
I did. I do you
run still? Do you
no, I don't run still. Okay. I gave that up. I said, you know, now I do run around and chase my child around, but
yes, but that's a different kind of running.
That's just as intense at times.
Well, now, do you miss it? Do you miss running?
Yes and no. I tell everybody when you get into this profession. When I get on the bus, I still get antsy, and you know, especially at national championships, you know, I get excited. You know, just like I'm excited for June 13th when our first meet is this year, or January 13th, and you know, I'll get on the bus that day and I'll be ready. I'll be giddy. I probably won't sleep the night before, but that kind of, I guess.
Even after 10 years, you still.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think you can't be successful if you don't enjoy what you do.
You know, and I still say the same thing. I still get the first day of class, and when you're going in and you're nervous and you're meeting these students for the first time, and it's just, there's nothing like it.
Right, and I tell myself all the time, I've been doing this long enough. Why am I still antsy and nervous and all that?
But you're still antsy and nervous.
Yeah.
So if someone would like to get in touch with you, how do they go about doing it?
They can email me,
okay.
Call my office phone. Both of those things are on our athletic website.
Okay, so meridiancc.edu.
Yeah, or mcceagles.com.
Okay.
And yeah, all of my contact information is there. We've got a questionnaire as well that goes directly to me and my coaches, and so yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Absolutely, I appreciate you.
We'll be right back.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
And we are here with Dr. Laura Lewis. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good.
Me too. You know, it's
I'm
a
glad
good
to
day.
be here with you.
Thank you so much. As she said before, I'm so glad I read my reminder email.
Yay.
But now, what do you teach here at Meridian Community College?
I teach personal and community health, health concepts, spin, and whatever, really and truly, whatever the students want, we try to have that, you know, as an
Make you
opportunity for them.
accommodate, yeah.
Weight training, things like that. And I teach a variety of online wellness classes.
Okay.
Like walking and jogging, yes, that is online, but we do have that.
But you still have to do it. You
have to do it.
You do some of the other stuff online. Yes.
Right. So
It's not just you pull up and you scroll.
Right. Actually, our students
the
have to
bird.
submit. Yeah. Our students have to submit data from
Yes.
their, you know, trackers, from
I
the
actually
fitness
did
trackers.
that. I actually did that, but at that time we didn't do the trackers. We had to like take pictures or
Yeah, absolutely.
submit something to
Yep.
say, "Hey, we're out here and we're walking."
Right.
Now, I wanted you on the show today to talk specifically about holiday health strategies
Yes.
because typically speaking, during the holidays, guess what happens? We tend to overeat.
We overeat.
I know you don't. Let me just tell you,
That's
she
not
is the
true.
best eater in the world.
That's not true.
You have your stuff.
I try. I try.
But do you ever find yourself overeating?
Absolutely. I
Okay.
do. I mean, I think that is just part of our tradition. And here with my family, we just do a lot more during Christmas. We bake, we cook.
Because this is family time and the stuff
absolutely.
you do together.
And you're not as much in a routine as you were, you know, and we have time off. So when you have time off, you're there again taking that routine out. So when you take a routine out, our brains just kind of get all jumbled and we don't exactly know where to fit in, how to eat right, and when to exercise because we're not in that same routine.
Okay, so if someone is saying, look, I've been working on my weight and I've gotten it down and I'm doing pretty well, I'm worried about the holidays, what would you suggest to them?
So my suggestion is try to maintain the same routine that you had prior to going into the holidays. So
Okay.
if you are eating 4 or 5 meals a day, stick with that. If you're, you know, sleeping that 8 hours, stick with your sleep routine because that's a really big part of metabolism as well. And then another thing is watch portions. I know during the holidays we want to try all the treats and the yummies and all of that. So my suggestion is if you're going to eat those things, watch the portions. Don't
Okay.
have, you know, 5, you know, what are they called? German chocolate chess squares that your family makes during the Christmas holidays. Don't have 5 or 6 of
You
those.
obviously
Have
have not seen my
one.
family. We don't make stuff.
Divinity, I know that's
Oh,
one
my-
thing
oh,
that, you know, the
yes.
Chex Mix we were just talking about, you know, have a serving. A serving could be anywhere from a half a cup to a cup, you know, or depending on ounces, 4 ounces to 6 ounces of whatever that may be at one time. You see, a lot of times we try to go overboard with those goodies.
Well, and I find that this is my problem, is that I eat and I continue eating until, you know, my brain hasn't caught up.
That's right.
And my brain, I need to eat a little bit and let my brain say enough.
Right.
But I don't let that happen.
Right.
I'm like, oh, let's eat some more. Oh.
So that's why you have to give yourself time in between those servings. You know, eat a serving, wait like 5 to 10 minutes and see where you are with it. And drink plenty of water when you're doing that. And sometimes that kind of helps, you know, quench that. And sometimes it doesn't. And that's why I try not to do too much.
I'm so sorry, yeah.
That's why I try not to bake as much. Try to do one little treat here and there, and then beg my mother, hey, listen, if you're going to do this, don't push it on me every time I come over to the house, you know.
Well, what about, you've got this Chex Mix that you're talking about. What is
Chex
that?
Mix. So I do, everybody kind of
gonna
knows
get some
about it, I
water.
think. And if you don't know about the Chex Mix, it is, you know, in my opinion, carbs are not bad. You know, I try to implement all of the macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So, bless your heart.
I'm so sorry.
So I use the Chex Mix cereal, and I also add in nuts, and I do some pretzels, and I think that you do add butter, and you add some Worcestershire and some really good seasoning to that. But to me, that's not a really bad treat because there's not a ton of fat in it in terms of serving. You know, if you're eating just one serving, you're not getting a lot of
How
that.
much is a serving?
For
Isn't a serving like...
A Chex Mix is for like a half a cup to a cup.
But like the
Yeah,
amount
I
you
mean,
can have
you
in
can,
your hand, that's
right.
a serving.
That's probably a serving.
I
half
grew
a
up
cup.
thinking a serving was like,
Everybody grew up thinking a serving was this much, but that's just the American way. And unfortunately, when it comes to Thanksgiving and then moving into Christmas, this is when I start crunch time for me. And a lot of people, this is why usually I like to be ahead of the the ball whenever it comes to the new year.
Right.
So I'm not struggling to get there. So I try to start right after Thanksgiving. I'm really watching it. And I know that sounds bizarre, but that's how you get ahead, is starting before Christmas, watching your servings, especially during that Christmas meal, and then thereafter,
And you still exercise throughout?
Absolutely.
Okay, you
absolutely.
don't give up your exercise.
No, do not give up your exercise. And if you can't get to the gym, you can certainly do some things at home. Calisthenic workouts, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups if you have a pull-up bar. Dumbbells, resistance bands, and walking. I was looking at getting one of those fold-up treadmills.
Okay.
And they're not very big, and you can easily store them. And they're not even that expensive. They run anywhere from $250 to $300. Now, that can be expensive for a lot of people, but if you save up over the time, you can eventually purchase one and use it at home.
Okay, okay. Now, what are some of the things that your family does at Christmas that you just look forward to?
So we usually go to
Because I know
our
you've got a
Christmas,
very close-knit family.
Yes, we do. And of course, my siblings live away, so if they don't come home, it's usually my parents. We do our thing together, but we usually go to a Christmas Eve service, and that's what we do on Christmas Eve. And then we generally have a Christmas Eve meal, and then for Christmas Day, we do our little happies together. Not as much as we used to.
The
but
Christmas Eve meal, do you have certain foods that y'all always cook, or do you just like, let's try different things, or?
Over the years, we've been backing off on the number of dishes that we've been doing. I've been begging my mom to do that because there's just so much food left over. Okay. So we try to do, we limit that, and then we try to incorporate more greens, more vegetables, and we do ham.
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 Well, listen, thank you so much for being on today.
Course.
I really appreciate it.
I love coming.
I know you do, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first, while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
On behalf of executive producers Tanisha Clark and Matt Milner, media specialist Josh Taylor, and me, thank you so much for watching. See you next week.